Hey guys, what's up? My name is Bud, and welcome to the fourth episode of Christmas with Photo Yellow Digital. Basically today, as I said yesterday, I'm going to be doing a video on 3D motion tracking in Blender. I'm in Blender version 2.69, and which is the newest version. I'll put a link to the Blender page, blender.org, in the description. So basically how we're going to start off is we're going to open up Blender here. I'm going to go down into here and go into the movie clip editor. I'm just going to select my footage that we're going to use, and I'll put a download link for the footage in the description as well, if you want to use the same footage as I am. Alright, so I have my footage right here, bud_6344.mov, 16 megabyte clip. This is the clip right here. It's just basically me walking around with this here. So we're not going to mess around too much with the start and end here. Basically, it's going to just start is the frame that it's starting on, so we want it to start on frame number 1. If you guys want it to start later on, what you can do is just scroll through and then set start to like 38. So I'd click on here and type in 38, and then it would start at 38, but I want it to start at 1, so we're gonna have it start at 1. Ends at 250, so it's gonna go through 250 frames of the footage. Start at frame 1, make sure we're on frame 1. We're going to do detect features, which is basically just going to detect some features that Blender thinks is going to be a good track. Then what we can do is click add marker, click on where we want to add a marker. Now I want to add a marker here, just to this corner here. Add a marker down to this corner down there. I'll add one up here. Add one at this corner, just to have a bunch of trackers. Now you need at least 8 to track. Well, you can use lower than 8 to track, but in order to reconstruct it and add 3D elements, you have to have at least 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is easily good enough. The next thing that I'm going to do right before I track is I'm going to be going to the side here. So there's a left panel and a right panel. On the right panel, I'm basically going to be going down to camera data, and this camera preset is going to have a bunch of cameras here. I shot this with the Nikon D7000, so I'm going to select the D7000, click on that, and my focal length that I shot with was 28 millimeters, so I'm going to put that there, and everything else I'm just going to leave. Basically, if your camera isn't in here, you can click add and add a name of a camera and stuff, and do a bunch of that jazz to add your own camera, your own focal length, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all you need to do here, I believe. Match keyframe. Yep. So basically, you're gonna hit A twice to select all of the tracking points. Make sure you're on frame number 1, as I am over here, and click on this right here, the track forward. So it's just gonna start to track forward through the data, and you can kind of tell which trackers are going to be good and which ones aren't. There's going to be a live preview right here just showing where this tracker is moving. Now, as you can see, the one beside it, this one here, is really not the best. I knew that one would get screwed up, so we're going to just delete that afterwards. We don't want that messing up the 3D elements being added. So you're just going to have a watchful eye on all your trackers, making sure they're roughly in the right spots, which they seem to be, other than this one here. And I'll just wait for the footage to finish tracking through the whole thing here. It's a little bit slow just because I'm recording. So once it's all done, as you can see, the trackers move pretty well, except for this one here. So we're just going to right click on this, hit delete. There, now it's gone, and we have just the good trackers. So if we play here, oops, yeah, but basically tracks it pretty well. So now that we have all of that, we're gonna be we're basically gonna be taking this here, and we're gonna hit A to select them all, and we're gonna do solve. In the solve panel, on the left panel under solve, we're gonna click camera motion. It's basically gonna solve the trackers, and it'll give you a score down here, the solve error average. and anything under 3 is good. I have 0.5, so this one is definitely good enough for me, and I'm going to leave that how it is. Then I'm going to go up here and just create a new window. If you guys don't know how to do that, just drag your mouse till it becomes a little crosshair by the lines at the corner and just drag. And this new window is going to be a 3D view. And to get into this camera view, we're going to hit 0 on the number pad. So if you just hit 0, whoops, that'll bring you into the camera mode here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into, on the left panel here, we're going to do under clip, set as background. So there will be a background here, and as you can see, it's just a background on your 3D view. And then do set up tracking scene, which is basically going to set up a tracking scene which Blender thinks is the proper kind of tracking scene for your shot. Now right here it should roughly be good, but as you can see, the cube on this side just starts to get a little bit wonky and not what we want. So now on this side here, what we're going to do is we're going to go down to where it says tracking, and we're going to click on reconstruction. And if we scroll up here, there's a bunch of stuff. Geometry, we're not going to worry about that. Orientation, I'll get to that in a second, and clip. This is also in tracking, which we don't need to use this anymore. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select three tracking markers here. Just hold shift and select 3 that are going to be the floor. So I want the cube to be in the center of the piece of paper, so I'll do the piece of paper as the floor. So then we're going to click on floor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select a center point and set that as the origin. And the wall is optional, the X and Y axis are also optional. I'm not going to be doing that for now. Now we're pretty much done with this side. We're just going to be dragging into this here, which, as you can see, if we select the cube and its plane and just scale them down to roughly about the same size as that, the piece of paper, as you can see, it tracks to the piece of paper pretty well, which is pretty exciting, because now we have a 3D cube that is sticking to our plane, and we can just move. Whoops. I'm just gonna quickly scale this up to be roughly that, and I don't know why I can't select the cube here. There we go. So now we're just gonna set this to be, I want this to be a little bit bigger here. So just to be about like that. Alright, so now we have the cube on the piece of paper, and if we scrub through this here, as you can see, it gets closer to the camera when it needs to, and farther away also when it needs to. So now what you can do is right click on the plane here and go to the left hand or the right hand column here and just click on the materials, do add new, and you're just going to scroll down until you get to the shadow menu and do shadows only, and then do shadow only, and you're gonna click on transparency, set the alpha to about 50%, and as you can see, the material is just a shadow, so this is basically just gonna receive shadows from the cube here. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to see, is there a light source? No, there is not. We want to add a lamp here. We'll just do a point light here. Let's just move that up slightly. Right there. So now we have that there. And as you can see, the cube tracks to the piece of paper pretty well. There are a couple little flaws with it. Now not all footage is going to be 100% perfect. As you can see, this actually isn't. What you can try to do to fix this is to select different tracking points. So let's say we want to set something else as the floor. We want to set these 3 instead of the outside 3. We'll set those as the floor. That's gonna that actually seems like it makes it a little bit better. So now, since we set those as the floor, just do some troubleshooting just to try to figure this stuff out. So now we're just gonna take this cube here, let's just rotate it to roughly where it looks good. Let's just try to flatten this out here. So this looks pretty good, tracked pretty well. Good enough for now. Basically what we can do now is we can go up to the render here and we can just do a rendered preview of everything. So this is essentially what it's going to look like when we're done with the cube on top, which looks pretty awesome, I think. I really like how this turns out. Let's go back to the 3D view. Now in here you're going to make sure that this is 24 frames per second. Your render presets, I'm just going to do, let's just do DVC Pro HD 720p here. 24 frames per second. And we're going to go down to this. Instead of PNG, we're going to set it to QuickTime. And video codec, we can set to a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to do H.264. Quality 75, that's good. We can do audio if we want. I'm not going to do audio. And yeah, that is pretty much all you have to do. Except now you can select where you want to save it. I'll just save it to the desktop for now. So we'll just hit accept. We'll click animation, and this is going to render out everything in the scene. Now this is going to take a while, so I will skip to once the animation is done. And we're back. Blender just finished exporting here, and this is what the final version of the 3D motion tracked cube on the piece of paper will look like. So this is the footage that you'll get. There's no audio or anything. Obviously we could have done a better job lining up the plane for the shadow, but as you can see it looks pretty good. If we were to tweak it more, change the direction of the light and all that, it would look better, but I think it does look pretty good, and I am very happy with how it turned out. And so yeah, if you guys want to be able to do this yourself, make sure you download Blender, this program right here, and you guys can create 3D motion track. You can 3D motion track your own footage to do that in your own short films. So yeah, once again, thank you all for watching. My name is Bud. Stay tuned for tomorrow's Christmas edition of Christmas with Photo Yellow Digital, episode 5. Thank you guys for sticking around this long. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you guys what tomorrow's going to be, but tomorrow it's going to be a special episode. So, Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.